Welcome, Tenno, to the Hot Dog Juice Show. My name is Sunrend, your gracious host, and today we're going to be talking about the talons, one of my personal favorite weapons. As you can see through the via the stats, this starts out with a fairly good high chance critical, with the average critical damage. It has decent status, and it has no impact, puncture, slash. It's just blast. This is one of my favorite weapons. It's a throwing shuriken. You throw it, and you manually detonate it via this special weapon button, basically. So, without further ado, we're gonna rip right into this. These shuriken weapons also, when you fire it, it does a wide, long arc, and it spreads 3 projectiles out and latches onto pretty much anything and whatever it can latch onto. From there, it's your decision to implode them. There are silent by default, which is very interesting because when you implode these things, it doesn't sound any alarm. So these things are meant to be used for stealth, but I'm kind of a rebel in this sense, and I like to use it for open combat. They just deal so much ridiculous damage. As we pull this up here, as you can see, we have the Hornet Strike, Barrel Diffusion, and Lethal Torrent all in there, with the Prime Target Cracker and Prime Pistol Gambit, which are all very easily to be obtained fairly. The prime parts are a little hard to get. So my suggestions for the one slot that's open to you is maybe an Augur Pact, as you can see, or some sort of elemental thing. Some people think that maybe a little bit more magazine capacity might be a good option, and I don't blame them. One really good option is to put in a heated charge in with your corrosive damage, getting you these blends of elements in, and that would probably be a really good general build, honestly. For me, I have already a Riven that kind of does some crazy critical chance stuff, so I kind of relatively like using that. And last thing to note is that it has a really good Wii factor.
Rickety, rackety, zip, zoom, bang, mischief makers, zip, boom, bang. Hip, hip, hooray! When mischief makers play, adventure's on its way. Declare a holiday, come join the fun. Become a member now, and then remember.
Alright, last final notes for this weapon is just the usability for this weapon in general. This general is an explosive weapon, and it also can hurt you. It deals self-damage if you're close enough, and it will kill you because of the amount of damage that it does, just based on what the blast, basically. There is one good thing, as you probably noted already, that you probably should always have a runaway and implode tactic, even though the arc that these things toss at and the range it goes in is a good enough range so that way you don't get yourself hurt, but still, it's always good to basically have a run and implode tactic because of the fact of, well, you just don't want to get shot while you're witnessing the great enjoyment of killing your foes. But I digress. That's a tough thing to not do. Last note I'd like to give out is that there is a negative to this weapon, and it should be obvious to maybe more veteran players. But basically, IPS is not there. It's not there at all. It's blast, which is an interesting mechanic. It can actually deal quite a bit more criticals than most because of the points of which it hits enemies on multiple different accounts. Thus, you can score lots of damage, but not any sort of slash damage, mainly because slash damage is the end game kill-all element or damage type. So from that, the weapon doesn't work for end game.